us a little bit about how you became one of the speakers tonight. Politics has not been something you're involved in
No,
before, right?
not at all. But I'm very passionate about this country, and I love the United States so much. And I guess God works in mysterious ways. He put me one way to the other, and the next thing I know, I'm speaking here. So.
But what's one way to the other? Like, what were the steps that got you from being passionate about the country to on this stage?
Well, for the last year especially, I know that Trump was going to win, so I really backed him up. But even before that, for the last 7.5 years, I've seen this country really take a bad turn. And I kept my mouth shut. But after a while, it's time to speak. And I've seen a lot of things happen on a weekly basis around the world. I've traveled all around the world. And I just don't like what this administration, this president, the party has done, the Democratic Party has done to this country. And I just think it's time to talk. And I just kind of open my mouth and people want to hear what I have to say. That's about it.
What do you mean when you say you saw it taking a bad turn? Because I think a lot of people feel that way, that they don't think the country is headed in the right direction. What specifically do you think is not going right in this country right now?
There's just so much. I think that, Obama had an agenda. 7 years ago, I actually liked this guy. I was backing him up. I thought he was
Did you vote for him?
I did not vote for him. I did not vote for him the first time or the second time. But once he was elected the first time, I was backing him up because, I love our president. I love this country. So even if I don't agree with somebody, I'm still going to back him up. And but this guy just made it really hard for me to support him. And he's made a lot of choices that I wouldn't have made.
Like what?
Well, we're talking about. First of all, I don't believe that the guy is a Christian. I don't believe he follows the God that I love and the Jesus that I love. I think he has an agenda from the beginning. I think he's. He grew up. If you follow his story, if you read his book, if you understand about Obama, that's not a Christian name, is it? The guy had an agenda to change dramatically this country from left to even further left. He's made it not safe anymore. He's divided this country. People are walking around not respecting police officers. They're not respecting teachers. The Bible is completely out of the schools. Things are changing. And you can see his agenda really exploding right now in the last few months of his term. Things are happening on a weekly basis. And he's not supporting this country. I don't believe he is. And also the next president, if it's going to be Hillary, is going to be a huge problem because she's actually worse than he is. So what do you want to say? How much do we have?
Well, let me just sort of.
The borders, we have
there's
military. He hasn't done anything to destroy ISIS. I think our country could destroy ISIS in a short amount of time. He hasn't done that. There's.
Let me
we
just
can
ask
talk
you.
for a while.
Absolutely, and listen, we've got a lot of time. So
We've
as
got a
much
lot of
time
time.
as you've got, we've got time too. What, specifically, you mentioned religion seems to be very important to you. Why is it that you don't believe that President Obama is Christian? Is the man who regularly attends church services with his family?
No, he does not. Actually, he does not attend church. He actually has never talked about Jesus Christ once. I've met a lot of Christians. I know Christians. I am one, and I don't believe he is. And I think he grew up.
Why? Why don't you believe he is?
It's in my heart, man. I just see it for what it is. I believe that he's on the other side. I think.
What's the other side?
Oh, the Middle East. He's with the bad guys. He's with them. He's not with us. He's not with this country. He doesn't support what the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, all the great things that made this country great. He doesn't support our military. I have talked to so many people in the military, from police officers to the military, and they don't like this guy. Really, that's hard to go battle for something knowing that your president, your boss, doesn't support you. It's really tough. So I see that a lot. And I've seen that for 7.5 years.
So I'm just curious, do you think it's necessary for a person, male or female, to be a Christian in order to be an effective president? And if so, how do you rationalize that with what the Constitution says with the separation of church and state?
Well, you have a point, but also at the same time, this country was based on rules that actually go back to the Bible. We're talking about this nation under God. It says that
but it doesn't say which God. It just says
there's
under
only
God.
That's one God that we know about. It's not. You believe it's Islam. This country was based on Islam, or you believe that the God that I'm talking about is the one in the Bible.
Do you believe that we could never have a Muslim president or never have a Jewish president?
We had one. We had a Muslim president for 7.5 years.
You believe that President Obama is a Muslim?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
And that is based on what you feel in your
yeah,
heart?
That's what I believe, yeah. And you know what? I have the right to believe that, and you have the right to go against that, but I believe it.
We're not necessarily going against it. We're just
he grew up in that world.
We're just trying to
That's
figure
where
out,
he comes from. That's where he grew up.
We're just trying to figure out how you can say you love the country and you love the Constitution
right.
while openly stating things that seem to go against what the Founding Fathers stood for, which is separation of church and state.
Well, I believe that he made a lot of wrong choices, and those are my beliefs. And you know what? The thing is, what I've seen, because politics is it's a nasty business, man. Once you open your mouth, everybody attacks you and all that stuff. But I can see one thing for sure, especially in the last year, that the left, which is nasty, the left attacks you emotionally, physically. I mean, everything. They want to just destroy you. And I don't see that from this party down here. So, I mean, that was really surprised. 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I was a Democrat. And now I'm not anymore. Because
so you were a Democrat, but you didn't vote for the president who was the candidate.
No, I didn't vote for him. No, I didn't vote for him.
So 8 years ago, you were a Democrat.
And then
but you didn't vote for the Democrat.
I didn't vote for Obama. I didn't vote for Obama, no.
Okay.
And I didn't vote for Obama the second time either. That was actually... So now we made two mistakes, the first time and the second time. So now we have to make a choice the third time. Do you want a third Obama, or you want to take a different choice? And so we have a choice right now.
Let me ask you about your candidate that you are here to support. What specifically that he has said, what policies would you like to see enacted that he has talked about, steps that he would take?
I would say anything from building the wall to building the military and everything in between, and bringing our country back to where we don't have $20 trillion in debt. I mean, anything in between. And everything he says, which people are attacking him, he says this, he's open, he's too honest. There's not too honest. I actually like the honesty for once. I don't have to be lied 100 times to find out the truth. And also Hillary, she left our soldiers to die. So that alone should just tell you don't vote for her, no matter who's on the other side, because he left our soldiers alone. I mean, they were our troops.
You're talking about
Hillary Clinton and Benghazi.
You're
that whole situation.
Benghazi, the military contractors.
We heard it tonight
at the security
and
compound.
we heard it for a long time. So once you know that what she did is disgraceful. So I mean, at that point, you just know you're going to go with somebody else, no matter what. And that's Donald Trump. So
was he your first choice because you had 17 to choose from?
He was my first choice from the beginning. Yeah, but I've known the guy. I met him several times. I met him the first time 20-some years ago, and he's the same guy that I met 20 years ago that I see now. So he hasn't changed. So I respect that. So I knew he was going to win from the beginning. Yeah.
I think a lot of people respect the fact that he is so plain-spoken. They say they feel like he's different from other politicians. Certainly the fact that he's not been a politician for his career is attractive to a lot of people. It sounds like you like that as well.
I like a little honesty, yeah. And I like the fact, like you said, that he's not a politician. That's good.
What about the fact that a lot of people think that some of the language he's been using is really divisive? I mean, he has singled out several groups, saying that they're un-American, saying that they don't belong here, stereotyping a lot of them.
Right.
Do you find that stuff to be useful?
That's the media changing it around. I don't think he feels that way. I think he's definitely not racist, if you want to bring that up. I mean, I've known him for a long time. I know people that work with him, that work for him. So
why do you think he retweets occasionally people who support white supremacist groups?
Oh, we want to talk about that? Let's talk about Hillary being associated with that.
No, but we're talking about Trump.
No, I don't think that's just all the media picking and choosing what you want to do. I mean, I'm not going to...
But why do you think he retweets white supremacy groups? That's a straightforward kind of question.
No, I mean...
It's not about Hillary or anything. It's just, why do you think he retweets white supremacy groups?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you bring something up that I don't even know about, because I mean, I don't even know about this retweeting. So I'm not going to focus my vote on a tweet. I'm really not. I really could care less. I want to vote for the guy that I know and I respect, and that's Donald Trump.
Can you explain what it's like to be a working actor and model in Hollywood and have some of the views that you've expressed tonight?
You know what? Like I said, I mean, I'm very passionate about it, about what's going on right now, and I put God first. I put Jesus first, so it's up to him to decide what's going to happen. It's not up to anybody else, because before you know it, we live a life and then we're going to go. That's it. It's over. It's done. So you never know what's going to happen, especially nowadays. I mean, things are going off. People are dying all over the place. It's crazy. So if Hollywood feels a certain way about me because I'm speaking about Trump, then so be it. So I don't worry about that.
Let me ask you.
What I mean? My faith, I sleep at night knowing that I'm making the right decision. That's good enough for me. I'll find a job. I'll get something. I'm not scared of what people might say or might not say. I'm not afraid of that. I'm good.
We really appreciate you taking the time to
very
come
much.
up and talk to us.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on your speech.
Thank you,
we
guys.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.